Come here, bud. All right, so now that Toby is reliably going into the down position for the food lure, I'm gonna add leash pressure. And the reason why I add leash pressure is because there are gonna be lots of times in your dog's life where they don't feel like listening, or this will happen a lot too, your dog wasn't actually prepared for the distractions in the environment, and he's just like, whoa, can't do this right now. And so when you verbally tell him what to do, he doesn't get it. It also really helps with teaching him that when he doesn't feel like doing it, it doesn't really matter. He still has to do it. I do this as gently as I can, because if you just say, take a leash and pull really hard down to the ground, the dog is going to panic. So that's not what I like to do. I actually like to build on what your dog already knows. Toby, break, good boy. And he already knows from luring, right, which is food to nose. Tobes, come here, bud. Food to nose. Come here, quick, turn your body around. Then down and into him, that I want him to do that, and that's how he gets the food. So building on that, Toby, break. Good job. I'm going to introduce the slightest amount of pressure downward from the leash. So that's then going to predict. Good. So there was a second of light pressure downward. Just, a pretty decent amount of firm pressure downward, but I'm not pulling him straight down. And then when I lured him into position, meaning my hand went to his nose and downward, he dropped down. And basically, so this is Toby. My hand represents Toby's neck, right? My hand and wrist. And basically, there was a little pressure like that, and when he moved, you see how the leash, like he moved away from that pressure. So I wasn't pulling him to the ground. I put pressure down, and he moved into that pressure. So we're going to do that again. Because this is the way I find that dogs get the least stress, and I can still correct them when they choose to like get up, and I don't want them running away or jumping at somebody or getting into something. Toby, break. There are a lot of reasons why your dog should just lay down and stay there until you release them. So we're going to do it again. So I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to pull a little downward, 1 second, and then I'm going to introduce that leash pressure. So the new cue, or the new thing that tells him to go into this position, is that leash pressure. And it's the same thing, so we're going to do it right here. So now I can go like that. I didn't release him. He's in a stay command. So right there, downward pressure. And that's why I teach it. Toby, break. Good. So I'm going to have my food ready. He's obviously done this a few times, which is why I can use that leash pressure to correct him. But it's super simple. This is just a little slip lead. So it's not a training collar, it's just a little bit of pressure. So we're going to go 1 Mississippi, and then we lure into position. Good boy. We're going to do that again, because you got it. So slide your hand close to that clip, downward pressure. And he's like, oh, that's so unfair. Goes down. Good. Toby, break. And again, that word actually tells him he can get up. So now he's responding pretty well, like the 1 second downward pressure lets him know, he knows, he's so smart, lets him know the lure is coming. So now we're going to do 2 seconds of downward pressure to see if he moves into it. Come here, bud. Come on. So we're going to go 2, and then we lure. Good boy. So all that downward pressure is doing is it's telling him like the word down to move into a position. It predicts the lure. Toby, break. Break. Good job. Good. So we're going to do that again. 1, 2. Yeah, good boy. And that time he went down without the added guidance. And that's the building blocks. That's the steps. And as you saw, we're going to try to break him again. Very good. So if he's squirming around, my hand goes up the leash to under that clip, and then the pressure is just this little pop release downward. Until I release him. And that can be so many times, like you're greeting people, get him into a down. Yeah, you don't want him moving around at the vet's office, get him into a down. Once he's good like that, step on that leash. So nice and close to his collar. Hey, bud. He's no fool, he's no fool, he's no fool. Good boy. If he were to get up, my foot is right there. He would immediately feel that leash correction that we just taught him what that pressure downward means. And this is awesome to be able to have this. Toby, break.